How dangerous are blowguns? Not much. They're basically toys. Or at least that's what I've always thought. But then, a few days ago I saw this video here. This man is about to hunt a bear with a blowgun. Now, I know that video is not fake, because this guy is Tim Wells, and he's one of the most famous blowgun hunters. And I also know he didn't turn into anybody's breakfast, which means all I ever thought about blowguns is completely wrong. And so, to find out what these devices are actually capable of, I'm gonna make the most powerful and accurate blowgun possible, and then I'm gonna test range, accuracy, and damage against a few different targets. And then I'm gonna hunt a bear with it. Now, I just lied about the last part. Now, a blowgun is a pipe, essentially, but since the goal is to maximize the power and the accuracy, it means I have to find the best possible configuration for all the elements of that pipe. Jeez. And so, to build the ultimate blowgun, I can't just use a random pipe I could steal from my father's garage. This one could actually work pretty well though. Now, the first element to choose to increase the power of a blowgun is the diameter of the pipe. And you may think a smaller diameter could be better because it concentrates the air, but it's actually the opposite. In fact, the most powerful blowguns on the planet usually have a large bore. Now, the reason behind it is because my lungs can only produce a certain amount of pressure, so that one can't change. And because of that, the force that actually pushes the dart into the barrel is proportional to the area on the back of the dart, which is also the area of the pipe. Of course, I cannot go too big, otherwise I wouldn't have enough air in my lungs to fill the pipe before the dart leaves. And so, it's a fine balance between maximum force and not passing out in my garden. So, my 16mm aluminum pipe should actually work pretty well. Now, the second element to choose is the length of the pipe. In short, after blowing into the pipe, the longer you can keep the darts into the pipe, the longer they're gonna have pressure behind them, and the faster they will go. Physics calls this impulse, I think. The problem is that if the pipe is too long, then at some point friction will start slowing the darts down before they can leave. And so I gotta think of a way to find the best possible length for this pipe, like the length that gives me maximum speed. But I can't cut this one. And so I borrowed another pipe from my dad. We're gonna call this one guinea pipe because, you know, I'm gonna cut it. The guinea pipe has the same length of the other one, which is perfect. It has a slightly larger diameter though, so I printed a few dart cones so that they perfectly fit with this bore. No, I printed the wrong size. So that they perfectly fit with this bore. And so here's the plan. I'm gonna shoot a few times, measuring the speed with a chronograph each time. I'm gonna start with a full length of me, and about 1 foot. And then I'm gonna cut a little piece, measure the speed, and keep repeating it until the speed drops. When the speed drops, it means we found the perfect length. So I'm shooting with a pipe at full length, and I got about 36.5 meters a second on average. Meters a second are not easy to understand though. So, for comparison, I move at 1.4 meters a second when I move. A 9mm bullet moves at 350 meters a second, and my cat moves at 200,000 meters a second. Anyways, look at this. It's stuck in there. Oh, what? The weight doesn't come out. And this one is the lightest dart I'm gonna use with this blowgun. Interesting. So then I cut out one piece of the pipe, making it about 1 me long, and I got 39 meters a second on average. You see what I mean? It's going up. So then I cut out another piece of the pipe, making it about 1 me 10 years ago long, and this time the speed actually went down. 35. It went down a lot. So, looking at the average of the shots, the best length seems to be about 1 me, including the hair. And that is a little more than 1.8 meters, or 5.9 feet, if you are from Greenland. Now, the next component to increase power is the mouthpiece. This element should help out dump as much air as possible into the pipe without leaks, and without me having to leak the pipe. Then the second last element I can optimize to achieve power is myself. There is actually a specific technique to blow air into a blowgun. You don't blow like you are turning off candles. You exhale like you are trying to cough a Lego piece out of your throat. And you actually manage to get it out of your throat. It's basically a mix of coughing and blowing. The way you blow into the pipe actually makes a big difference.
38.6.
After testing the best length of the pipe, I tried shooting a few times just to get used to it.
41.5.
And at each shot,
42.3. What? I'm learning to shoot again.
the speed kept increasing.
43.7. What?
And now the tip broke inside. Anyways, the last component that can increase power is the projectiles. A light dart is fast, but it doesn't have momentum, so it loses speed quite fast, and they probably don't hurt as much. While a heavy dart has much more momentum, and I guess these razor-sharp blades tell something about damage. So I bought a few hunting darts with different dimensions and shape, and I'm gonna test them all to find out which one is the best. Now, I'm not just gonna test range and damage of this blowgun though, but also accuracy. And so, taking slight inspiration from the professional hunting blowguns, I printed a few accessories. The first ones are the handles for stabilization. I actually printed these ones with resin, because I just found out you can make this nice little grippy texture here, simply by changing a few settings. Anyways, the rear handle also has an integrated mouthpiece, while for the other one, I wasn't sure I was gonna use this sort of pistol grip or a simpler one, but after a quick test, I actually find the simple one to be a little more comfortable. Then, in between handles, there is this sort of star that holds the darts, and also a foam holder, in which I'm sticking the darts so that I don't poke my fingers. It has an interesting look, this one, almost as if someone painted it, then rushed it, and partially removed the paint. How weird. And then there is this 3D printed part at the end of the pipe to avoid damaging it. It kinda looks like a muzzle brake, even though I don't think I'm gonna have much recoil with a blowgun. Now, I believe this blowgun is looking pretty cool already, and it looks massive on camera for some reason. It doesn't feel like that in real life, probably because it's very light. Now though, I also want to paint the pipe black, and after that I feel like it's gonna be so much better. But before that, I also want to install one last element that should help out a lot with accuracy, and that's a laser. I'm not sure what kind of range we're gonna see for this blowgun, but this laser should definitely be powerful enough. And so I'm installing it on a Picatinny rail of one of the 3D printed parts. And now, when I turn it on, it follows the movements of the blowgun. It's probably not accurate yet though, so to adjust it, I'm resting the blowgun on a bag filled with cat litter. Used. And then I'm just playing with the screws until I can see the laser point on the wall through the pipe. To be fair, the experienced shooters aim intuitively, as you would do with a bow, but I'm definitely not experienced. And I think the laser is pretty cool, so I'm gonna keep it on. Alright, tomorrow I'm gonna paint the pipe black, and then we're gonna test it. Never mind, today is a few days later, and my father ended up stealing the pipe I stole from him. He just needed it back, really. And so, instead of buying an identical one in aluminum, or aluminium, whatever you prefer, I bought a better one. This one has the same length and diameter of the previous one, but it's in carbon fiber, which looks much better, and it's even lighter. It's just 8 times more expensive than aluminum, but business expense. And then, because I'm a sucker for things that look nice, instead of using plastic parts for the foam holder and the muzzle brake, I'm gonna use anodized aluminum. These new parts are much heavier than the plastic ones, effectively erasing the entire benefit of the carbon fiber pipe, but I mean, look at them. And so this is how the final blowgun looks like. And I think it's very nice. And do you know what else looks nice? Shameless sad transition before the blowgun testing coming. The displays I've had on my walls for years at this point. They're actually cool though. This plate is basically the home of premium metal posters. They feel super sturdy and the print quality is just great. They also have over 200 officially licensed designs. So whether you are into Star Wars, Marvel, or psychopaths with funny hair, you're gonna be able to find whatever you love. You don't need any power tool or drilling to install them. You're gonna find all the accessories you need inside the box. You just gotta stick a sticky leaf to protect the wall, a magnet on top of the leaf, and that's it. You can then hang the display and move it however you like. There are over 2 million designs on this plate, but you can even create your own. You just upload an image and they're gonna create a display with it. So if you're looking to add a little bit of personality to your space, whether it's your room, your office, your garage, consider getting a few displays. They're great. By using my code mikeshake, you're gonna get a big discount on your order. It's gonna be 27% off if you get 1 or 2 displays, and 35% off if you get 3 or more. And I'm also leaving a link in the description so you can check them out later. Now let's go back to the blowgun test. So I'm gonna run 3 tests. I can't say tests. And they're gonna be accuracy, range, and damage. Alright, the first test is gonna be accuracy. I'm gonna shoot first from 5 meters and then from 10 meters. Also, since I'm shooting darts, kinda makes sense to have a dartboard as a target. Moreover, I'm gonna shoot first handheld and then with a support. So we're gonna be able to compare the results. Okay, 5 meters handheld. Oh, that's not bad. No way. Nice. These are nice results. So I don't think it makes much sense to shoot with a support from 5 meters. So we're gonna go straight to the 10-meter shots. So the biggest problem here is the drop of the darts. I'm not really sure what to expect. So I'm gonna go for one first shot as a test. I'm gonna just aim, I think, a little bit higher. Well, I'm gonna count that one. No, I shot 2 together. Didn't know you could do that. And well, that's not bad, but definitely worse than the 5-meter results. So now I'm trying with the support from 10 meters to find out if it's the blowgun or me to be not accurate. Wow. Yeah, that's nice. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. All right, so I'm the problem. These are 3 shots right in there. And so if you use a support or you know how to shoot it, I would say a blowgun is definitely accurate. Basically like a bow on a short distance. All right, range test. I placed a hard wooden panel at about 30 meters away. And well, if the darts are gonna be able to stick into the hard wood from this distance, then they're probably gonna be able to stick into softer things. Also, I've only been using the lightest darts so far, but from this range test, and especially the damage one, I'm also gonna use the very sharp ones. You know, the ones my cat is playing with right now. Cookie. His name is Cookie. Alright. And well, if you've always wondered how it sounds like to be shot at with a blowgun from 30 meters, you're welcome. In any case, I shot low 2 times, so now I'm gonna aim a little bit higher. Oh, it's stuck in the house. Let's try again. Oh, in the house again. And the energy the darts still keep after 30 meters is pretty insane. I wasn't expecting it. I wanna try to hit the board. There we go. Yeah. It sticks in there. Let me try the heavy dart now. I'm gonna aim a little bit. Oh. And of course, the energy here is even higher than with the light darts. This one went in pretty deep, like the entire tip. Same story for this one, same story for this one, and this one just, oh, this one doesn't come out. It actually just took a lot of convincing, but then I managed to get it out. Oh my god. I don't have any more space in my house. That was it. But from 30 meters, a blowgun is definitely deadly. I never would have guessed the darts were gonna keep that much momentum and penetration power from this distance. Especially the light darts. It's pretty crazy. And well, I probably wouldn't try to shoot something from 30 meters, but you could definitely do it, I guess. Now though, let's find out how a blowgun performs when instead of hard wood, you hit softer stuff. So I want to see how all these darts are gonna be able to perform against ballistic gelatin. Ballistic gelatin with thick leather in front of it, and ballistic gelatin with bones. So I'm gonna start with just ballistic gelatin as a target to measure the penetration of the darts. And to my surprise, the lightest dart didn't penetrate all the way into the gelatin. Probably the cone stopped it. So what about a heavier dart? And well, this one penetrated even less than the previous one. Actually, same story for all the other darts. Pretty large wound channel, but basically no penetration. And to me, this is weird. Mainly because of this. When I accidentally shot the hard plastic off the table, the dart penetrated almost as much as it did into the gelatin.
It went into the table. What?
So, this can't be accurate. I think the gelatin is slowing the darts down in an unrealistic way, like much more than a bear would. Even by pushing the sharp darts into the gelatin, they just don't go in. It might be because of friction between the gel and the blades, but it can't be accurate. So I'm gonna quickly test the leather in front of the gelatin, but then we're gonna move on to the ballistic dummy head and see what happens with bones. And to confirm the gelatin theory,
That one went in.
the 3 darts managed to go through 2 layers of thick leather, and the 4th one into the table.
Oof. Oof. Low.
But then the darts stopped into the gelatin almost right away. So yeah, maybe not the best material for an accurate blowgun test. But what about bones? I'm very curious to see if a blowgun dart is actually powerful enough to potentially penetrate them. And since I still don't know which dart is the deadliest one, I'm gonna try all of them, starting from the lightest one. I don't know what happened there. What happened? And well, I just missed. So then I tried again.
Oh. Yeah, it just sticks into the gelatin, but it doesn't go into the bone. I guess. I'm gonna try one more time, trying to aim here. But I think it's not gonna work.
But the 3rd shot simply proved me wrong.
Oh, I broke the bone. This one would have hurt so bad.
And so if the smallest dart did that, what about the heavy ones? I'm shooting the 2nd heaviest dart, and this one definitely stuck into the forehead. And I just noticed something. You also get a spear in the face as a complimentary gift when you get hit by one of these things. So this dart is clearly capable of cracking bones. I'm not sure how deep it went though. I'm not seeing the green juice, so I don't think it went through the bone. It's also true though, this area is the one with the thickest bone. So later, I'm gonna try on the side of the dummy head as well and see what happens there. But I wanna try the heaviest dart first.
Oh!
And well, this one didn't actually stick into the bone, but it sliced a bit of it.
This one definitely bounced off the bone, but it kind of broke it. Also, yeah. Oh. This would have been so bad.
Okay, let's try to aim on the side, because this area is much like flatter. Let's see what happens. So I'm shooting the heaviest dart again.
Oh my god, this one is in deep.
Still, I'm not sure this one went all the way through the bone though, so to really make sure blowgun darts can't do that, I'm gonna shoot a bunch of them. Well, this would probably hurt. And interestingly, the darts with the highest penetration are the lightest darts, probably because of less surface area.
These ones are not moving from the... Jeez.
While these green ones, once they're in, they just don't come out. But still, no green juice. And then something happened. So I thought they couldn't get through the skull. But check this out. I basically shot a few more times, just for fun. The other cameras weren't even recording. And after the last shot, I noticed something.
That one went to the brain.
One of the darts clearly managed to go through the entire bone. So now I'm shooting a few more times, as hard as I can, to attempt doing it again. And at first, I thought only the previous dart went deep enough. But then I saw something else.
Oh, look at this. Even this one went in, actually. Which is the lightest dart. Oh my god. They don't come out. But yeah, it's definitely in.
Okay, it's me 3 days later. Check this out. So I used glue to stop this hole because it was leaking. But even these ones, check this out. All these holes started leaking, which means all these darts actually went through. And so I would say blowguns are definitely much more dangerous than I thought. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check this one out as well. I think you'll like it. And also leave a like, a comment, or subscribe, so I know you enjoy this stuff. Thank you for watching, guys.